Hello Japan! You sent me some questions. I am more than happy to answer them. Here are the 6 questions.
What was the inciting event that put you on your path to becoming a board game designer? Did you play board games before you started designing them?
The fascinating part about our games industry is that there are many colorful birds, meaning different personalities, coming into our hobby and into our business just for the mere love of the games. And that brings the big variety to our industry and the creativity. So, for me, it was no different. I loved playing games as a child. I grew up in a small town and I wanted to play more games than I could find. So, for every fascinating game, I designed my own game just to play it with friends. And that's how it started, for many hours, for many thousands of hours. And as you say, you need 5,000 or 10,000 hours to become mastery. I think I have achieved that.
Where do you get your game design ideas from?
This is a tricky question. I have never any ideas which I need to look for. I am cursed by ideas. I have too many ideas. When I go through the world with open eyes, looking for games, I see them everywhere. So the challenge is not to find the ideas. The challenge is then to find the time, the energy, and the inspiration to work out and test out these games into perfect creations. That is the actual challenge.
You are known for making an amazing number of board games. Do you have a game that you have made that is your favourite, or a game that you feel particularly proud of for how well it was designed?
Well, 800 games I have created and published. These are all my children. So, which one is your favorite child? Do you have one? And would you tell? Each of my children has their own personality, has a little bit of me in there, and something new and quirky which the others don't have. So it is very difficult to differentiate, particularly because games are nothing absolute. It depends with whom you play, the atmosphere, the mood in which you play it. Therefore, there is no real answer to it. But if you want an answer, Tigris and Euphrates has been at the top of the Board Game Geek list for many years. So I think that found a lot of fans and is a nice example of a proud creation.
Are there any specific things you tend to focus on when designing games?
Well, you see, designing games is not a science. I'm a scientist, but it is not a science, it is an art. For me, it is important to start with something innovative, which gives me the best chance to end up with an innovative new design. My design process, how I have developed it in my experience over time, is that I'm not looking at the individual bits and parts of a game, like the components, like the mechanics, like the theme, but I'm developing this creation as a whole. And therefore, everything melts together, and every test and every play test of the game gives me information about all these individual aspects which melt together into one whole. And when I'm finished with the playtesting, the graphics is final, the materials is final, the mechanism is final, everything is final. So it is a process of many iterations, but bringing everything together into one whole. Now, I am a scientist, as I said, therefore my games are more based on few rules and a general understanding of the principle of the game, rather than putting the game full of lots of individual details. That's for the storytellers.
Is there any secret trick to being able to make as many games for as long as you have?
Yes, but it's not a secret. Do what you love and love what you do. And now, the final question.
As a long-time major board game designer, how have you personally seen the industry change over time, and where do you see it going in the future?
Our games are a mirror of our times. Of course, our world has changed significantly over the last decades. And of course, this is also reflected in our games. I'm not just talking about the rise of digital games and mobile games, but I'm talking about the themes, the relevant aspects which excite people today, which is in people's lives today, is very different. Also, the dynamics of our life has increased enormously, and that is reflected in our games. So today, you cannot really establish new classical games like chess or Go, because these would be too slow. This is not a value judgment. This is a reflection of time. Some of the times the game will be very high, and some of the times the game will not fit so well. The classic games are of course established and will be there forever, but establishing new games need to be very careful about what people like and how to catch the excitement of the players, because as another trend, there are lots and lots of new games, many more than we ever had before. Therefore, the world is changing, the games are changing, and not to forget, of course, the world is not one, even though through the globalization, the world is coming together. But luckily, the individual nations, continents, countries, people keep their culture and individuality. And therefore, games in America would be very different to games in Japan. In Japan, I know, you love games in small boxes. You also have a preference more to abstract games. But on the other hand, because maybe I interpret it from the outside, there are some rigid rules in your society, so it's also to let go and have some very crazy games, crazy appearances, which gives you the freedom to leave these bonds. In any way, the world is exciting and we will see what the future brings. It is a random process, because if there is one, maybe by accident, one very successful high-selling game, everybody will jump on the trend, and this is a self-fulfilling prophecy. So forecasting what will be the next lucky winner, everybody want to jump on the boat, is very difficult. In hindsight, we all know, but looking ahead, I know no more than you do. And with this is the best news, because that means everybody can get lucky. And with this, I wish you all the best and lots of fun and enjoyment when playing games, or even when you're brave to design games. With this, goodbye and best greetings to Japan.